Red Lobster, bankrupt. TGI Fridays, bankrupt. Hooters, closing 40 locations. Denny's, shuttering 150 stores. In 2025, America's favorite restaurants are dying at record speed. But this isn't about bad food or changing tastes. This is about a financial scheme that's been bleeding these chains dry for decades. And it's about to get worse. 2024 saw over 45 major restaurant chains file for bankruptcy or close significant locations. Industry traffic is down 3.5% year over year, even as the population grows. Same-store sales have declined for 8 consecutive quarters, and the restaurant industry now carries over $1.2 trillion in debt. Every 48 hours, another chain announces closures or bankruptcy. This isn't a blip, it's a collapse. Red Lobster closed 99 locations and filed for bankruptcy in May 2024, with $294 million in debt. TGI Fridays shut down over 50 locations before filing in November. Hooters closed 40 stores. Denny's is shuttering 150 by 2025. Applebee's dropped 35 locations. Boston Market, down to just 27 from a peak of 850. These aren't obscure brands. These are the places millions grew up with, and they're vanishing. The official explanations? Changing consumer preferences, inflation, labor costs. The media narrative? Millennials killed casual dining. But the truth? This was planned, and it's been happening for 20 years. Because the real killer? It's been sitting in the boardroom the entire time. Here's how private equity destroys restaurant chains in 4 steps. A PE firm borrows billions to buy a restaurant chain. But the debt doesn't stay with the firm. It gets transferred to the restaurant. Red Lobster was bought with $300 million in debt it didn't create. The firm sells the restaurant's owned real estate to a separate company. The restaurant now pays rent on buildings it used to own. Red Lobster sold 500-plus properties and now pays over $200 million annually in rent. The PE firm charges 2 to 3% annually in management fees, consulting, advisory, monitoring. Millions extracted every year, regardless of performance. The firm sells to another buyer or takes the company public. The new owner inherits the debt and rent burden. The chain collapses within 3 to 5 years. Meanwhile, the PE firm walks away with 3 to 5x return. They don't buy restaurants to run restaurants. They buy restaurants to extract cash. In 2014, Golden Gate Capital bought Red Lobster for $2.1 billion. Immediately, they sold all 500-plus owned properties for $1.5 billion to American Realty Capital. Red Lobster now pays $200 million annually in rent on buildings it used to own. In 2020, Thai Union, a seafood supplier, took control and inherited the debt bomb. In 2023, the infamous Endless Shrimp promotion lost $11 million. But that was a symptom, not the cause. By May 2024, Red Lobster filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy with $294 million in debt. Golden Gate? They made an estimated $400 million profit and exited years before the collapse. But Red Lobster isn't even the worst example. In 2014, Sentinel Capital Partners and Tri-Artisan Capital bought TGI Fridays. They immediately executed sale-leasebacks, expanded franchises, and loaded the chain with debt. In 2019, They sold to UK-based Hostmore, another PE-backed entity. By 2024, over 50 US locations were closed. Hostmore collapsed. In November, TGI Fridays filed for bankruptcy with over $50 million in debt. TGI Fridays went through 4 PE owners in 10 years. Each one extracted millions. None stayed for the collapse. Friendly's went bankrupt in 2011 and again in 2020. From 500 locations, it's down to 90. Steak 'n Shake closed over 100 locations and converted to a franchise model. Ruby Tuesday filed in 2020, now down to 200 from 900. Boston Market, once a household name, is down to 27 locations. Every single one followed the same script: PE tryout, sale leaseback, debt loading, bankruptcy. So why is 2025 the year it all falls apart? 4 forces are colliding. Interest rates. Fed rates jumped from 0.25% to 5.5% between 2022 and 2024. Debt service costs tripled. Labor costs. Minimum wage hikes and worker shortages pushed labor costs up 25 to 30%. Food inflation. Wholesale food costs rose 28% since 2020. Consumer pullback. Middle-class dining out dropped 18% as discretionary spending shrinks. These chains could survive bad management. They could survive changing tastes, but they can't survive $200 million annual rent, $50 million debt service, and 30% cost increases. Between 2025 and 2027, $847 billion in restaurant industry debt comes due. Most of it was issued between 2014 and 2019 at 3 to 4% interest. Refinancing now requires 8 to 10%. Many chains simply can't afford it. Case study: TGI Fridays had $50 million debt at 4%, $2 million annual interest. Refinancing at 9% means $4.5 million annually. They were already losing money, and the private equity firms? They saw this coming. In 2022 and 2023, PE firms sold restaurant chains and launched IPOs at record pace. They cashed out at peak valuations before the debt crisis hit. New buyers, often public shareholders, were left holding the bag. Example: Inspire Brands, owner of Arby's and Buffalo Wild Wings, is now loaded with $30 billion in debt and struggling. The cynical truth? They knew the debt wall was coming. They knew interest rates would rise. They sold at the top and walked away. Here's what's coming in 2025 and 2026. 15 to 20 major chains will file bankruptcy or close significant locations. Applebee's, Chili's, Outback Steakhouse are all at high risk. Franchisee bankruptcies will accelerate. Subway, Wendy's, Burger King. Industry consolidation will surge. Surviving chains will buy bankrupt competitors' locations for pennies. Red Lobster didn't collapse because of endless shrimp. TGI Fridays didn't collapse because millennials stopped ordering mozzarella sticks. These chains collapsed because Wall Street turned them into financial products, stripped of assets, loaded with debt, and drained of cash until nothing was left.
The executives who engineered this scheme
Walked away with fortunes. The workers who kept the grills hot and the tables clean walked away with pink slips. And the communities that once gathered in these restaurants are left with empty storefronts and fading neon signs. This is the great restaurant implosion of 2025. It isn't about food, It's about greed, leverage, and a system that rewards destruction. This is business failures, where collapse becomes clarity. And the clarity here? Wall Street didn't just eat your favorite restaurant, it swallowed the entire industry.